Welcome back to Humans in 5. Today I'm on my own, and I'd like to chat about trends and biases that aren't too frequently discussed in mainstream society. Today, I'll take a second to talk about colorism. Now, all of us have heard of racism, or prejudice against other individuals on the basis of their perceived geographic origins or phenotypic or visual features that have been given social meaning. It's worth remembering first and foremost that races are socially defined. They do not reflect any human biological reality. That being said, while races are socially constructed, the use of these biologically inaccurate categories can have real consequences for many people as they walk through the world. People in all walks of life can experience, address, or otherwise be aware of racism, but some people are unaware of the related idea of colorism. Colorism is defined as a prejudice or bias against particular skin tones. Typically, people with lighter skin tones are privileged, and people with darker skin tones experience prejudice. Colorism has been noted in many different parts of the world, and quite often occurs within minority groups and in diverse societies. For example, we've previously discussed the Harvard Implicit Association test. Many participants who take the skin tone test find that they have an automatic preference for light skin over dark skin. In pop culture, there are often higher proportions of lighter skin individuals of color than darker skin individuals of color in magazine spreads. In several high-profile cases, when dark-skinned individuals are featured, they're sometimes digitally lightened to better appeal to mainstream audiences. While these biases have consequences in our society today, they aren't new. For example, in the early 20th century, after the end of slavery in the United States, lighter-skinned people of color often had greater social and economic advantages over darker-skinned people of color. On top of that, some lighter-skinned individuals would bias against darker-skinned individuals with arbitrary tests like the brown paper bag test. Some groups and clubs run by people of color would only admit members who had skin tones lighter than a brown paper bag, which was thought to mean that somebody had greater social standing. Skin tone factors into social stratification in India as well. For example, advertisements that featured dark-skinned individuals as bad or inferior were only banned as recently as 2014. Historically and today, these trends are often more noticeable when they intersect with gender, as in many cultures around the world, lighter skin is associated with greater womanly beauty. Many people end up internalizing these biases, resulting in entire industries geared towards changing darker skin tones. For example, a number of cosmetic companies offer skin lightening products. It's not uncommon for women and girls to buy these products, believing that lighter skin will improve their beauty and their lives. These may seem like frivolous steps to take in terms of social perceptions of beauty, but biases against certain skin tones can have dire consequences. For example, a study by the Georgetown Law Center on Poverty and Inequality found that dark-skinned girls as young as 5 years of age are more likely to be viewed as guilty when accused of wrongdoing. In the American criminal justice system, dark-skinned individuals receive longer and harsher sentences than their light-skinned counterparts for the same actions. Among Latin American immigrants to the United States, lighter-skinned individuals receive higher salaries than darker-skinned folks. That being said, many dark-skinned folks are working to take back control of their image. Social media movements like Black Girl Magic have sought to remind us that beauty comes in all shades. Movements against skin-lightening products have become more vocal. But even with these changes gaining momentum, we still have a long way to go to addressing deep-rooted historical and systemic biases. So with all of these biases and prejudices at play, what can we do to start making changes in our day-to-day lives? Our first step is often to take a look at our own unconscious behaviors. We can't begin to make a change in the wider world until we take a deep and honest look at how our minds may have been shaped by broader social forces. I hope today's episode has helped reveal some of the situations surrounding colorism, and I'll see you next time on Humans in 5. And don't forget to subscribe!